to the executive committee that he was qualified to earn your consideration. With that, I will ask who you would like to have come up and introduce you for Secretary of State.
Campaign Manager Kyle Thornton, Delegate T4.
All right, Kyle, you get 2 minutes.
Let's all give ourselves a round of applause. It's a sunny day in Minnesota, and we're all sitting in this room, and I respect that a lot. I'm here to talk to you about Bob Helland. I met Bob when we were signing up to work for our second job. We both had 40-hour-a-week jobs, and that wasn't enough for us. We both had a special passion for marital contract law, which caused us to work as wedding DJs together. And when I first met Bob, I didn't like him. I'm kind of an alpha male, and I looked at him and I said, this is a guy who's pretty confident. He's overdressed for this training to be a DJ, and he's very articulate and impassioned. And I eventually came around as he started to challenge my sense of civic duty. He was a passionate government worker for the Department of Revenue, which I didn't understand. I found out later that he walked away from the private sector after a decade of experience, and that impressed me more. Bob also sized me up when he met me. I moved here from Michigan, where I was a registered Republican, and he got me to check out the Independence Party and later become more involved and eventually work on his campaign. I asked his mom what I should talk about in reference to him, and she shared with me an anecdote. When he was in college, he had a group of Boy Scouts with special needs that he led, and he volunteered on top of working and being in college to lead them. And what she really admired about it was he bought them all t-shirts so that they could look like a team together. And now I'm here as part of Bob's team, and I'm hoping that all of you can be part of Bob's team in first endorsing him and then helping him get elected. I can tell you that Bob has already put in effort to work with some of the candidates that have been endorsed already, like Brandon and John, and he'll continue to do so. So let's help strengthen this state. Let's help strengthen this party. Let's hear it for Bob Helland, everybody.
Good afternoon. I'm Bob Helland, and I'm seeking your endorsement as a candidate for the office of Secretary of State. Thank you for your warm reception. Thank you to the party executives who have organized this event and orchestrated this movement. Thank you to the party elders who have struggled and then shared your experience. Thank you to my fellow candidates for your willingness to serve, and thank you to our delegates who have given this movement the strength to be gathered here today. Reflect on the options that we've seen here as part of this convention, and consider the opportunities we have in November to set Minnesota apart from the other 49 states and our federal government. We need to be an example of how third-party politics can reshape the political landscape and begin to reform our government. That's what we need at all levels of government, local, federal, and state. Less two-party domination and deference, and more active, and by that I mean both more reactive and proactive public servants. Public servants who get jobs done, who give us quality products, who provide us timely services, and who serve with integrity and do not interfere with our economic and civil rights. So you're probably wondering who I am, but Kyle did a great job. That was a good surprise, so thank you. I'm a lifetime Minnesotan, born and raised. I grew up in Sauk Rapids, and I went to Central Lakes College in Brainerd and graduated St. Cloud State University with a degree in economics. Like many of you here today, I started as a small I independent. I had been a state employee for several years, and I still am today. After working nearly a decade in a family-owned software development firm and then graduating from St. Cloud State University, I ended up at the Minnesota Department of Revenue doing a variety of things over a 5-year career. Business registration, fraud detection, electronic filing, training, and sales and use tax compliance. So, several years ago, as that young state employee with a head full of thoughts on how the government works and perceiving the lack of anybody who's doing anything about it, or anything that made sense, I wanted to look more into the legislative and executive roles in state offices and see what opportunities existed. I would find a candidate or a cause to believe in. On a tour of major party caucuses, I met a local congressional district chair, Bill Denny. Bill Denny, give a wave. Thank you. I realized I didn't much care for the DFL caucus I'd gone to, and I did not really feel compelled to wrap it up with the GOP. I can say I did my due diligence by researching all of their party platforms and looking into the caucuses beforehand, trying to find what I was getting into. Like I said, I was soul searching for a political party. Many voters have taken that route to election limbo. You stop caring, you stop believing, you stop thinking that change is a possibility or that there's leaders that represent you. So, for me, the Independence Party changed all of that. It revived me, it invigorated my political soul. We need to change that for more Minnesotans and for more Americans. And I think we are the state to show how these things we call government and politics can be done. We can be the tripartisan revolution in 2014. The party whose candidates elected to office are not beholden to two-party politics or special interests, to big money contributors or to lobbyists, who care not of tired philosophical grudges, but the practical application of self-rule. We must be the engineers of civil society and the proprietors of an equitable 21st century economy. In the end, I stand here today for you, not just as a little I, but as big I, Bob. The man who would be Minnesota's next Secretary of State and who would proudly serve and wave the banner of the Independence Party of Minnesota from this day until Election Day and beyond. I'm prepared for the challenge of the race. I'm ready to lead an executive office. I'm driven to represent the political and civic mindedness of a generation of young Americans and Minnesotans, and to exemplify the dedication of state workers in a new role as an elected state employee. So why are you here? I'm very curious. If you are here to support the Independence Party of Minnesota today, say aye.
Aye.
If you want to see Minnesota be a leader in accountability of public servants and government, say aye.
Aye.
If you want to see Brandon Borgos as your next Attorney General, say aye.
Aye.
If you want to see Pat Bean as your next State Auditor, say aye.
Aye.
And if you want to see me, Bob Helland, elected your next Minnesota Secretary of State this year, 2014, in November, say aye.
Hell
Yeah.
If you want to be a part of the tripartisan revolution, say aye.
Aye.
I do. I want to lead the office of Secretary of State as a government information innovator and a charismatic executive. I want to be a pioneer in civic education, including within schools as called for in Minnesota Statutes, Chapter 5, Section 09. I want to safeguard your elections and make voting a seamless, secure civic process while reducing costs for state and local government. I want to enhance employee and volunteer training programs to augment workforce skill sets and provide a fulfilling 21st century work environment that attracts and retains excellent quality. I want to modernize and, in fact, revolutionize the way the state of Minnesota legitimizes business. A free market and a fair playing field depend upon our ability to do that, and livelihoods, people's lives, depend upon that. I can be your representative and help this party reach new people in new ways, starting right now with your endorsement. Today I ask you for your vote, for our party's endorsement, and for your direct support in winning the war of words, fighting for fair fundraising, and battling a bipartisan bureaucracy. Join me, join us, and let's change Minnesota's futures. Vote IP. Thank you.